What's up, Grind Squad? I see you stopped in to enhance your gameplay. Well, if you really want to become a grinder, then make sure you hop in the Discord or come catch us over on Twitch. Links are down in the description. Now, what I'm going to show you today isn't no small feat, okay? I'm going to show you how to become the top tier farmer in Arena. Alright, now that clearly ain't true, but in this video I will show you how to farm Arena quickly, efficiently, so you can gather them resources up and get back to your grind in the rest of the game. Now let's get back to the video. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Why should you put so much effort into Arena? Well, it's easy. For the glory, baby. Nah, seriously. The rewards and little resources that you get from the glory tree actually are pretty nice. They come with a lot of things that are really hard to get if you're free to play. And of course, them sweet rank rewards. The higher you climb, the better they are, and definitely nothing to sneeze at. Not to mention, if you're a little short on cash, you can always go in there and get you a quick 50 gems daily. They also pay out in currency. That shop is pretty sweet too. Make sure you go check it out. Now, really, how much effort should you be putting into Arena daily? To be honest, not that much. You log in, you make sure as soon as you do, you go into Arena and hop in and do your 5 training matches. You know, a nice little warm-up before you get to grinder for the day. And then you still got 5 tokens out of your 10. Go ahead and hit some regular matches and, you know, show them punks how we do it. Anything you do throughout the rest of the day, that's just extra, and really you'll see it at the end of the season when you get that rank reward. What is the goal of a farming team for Arena though? Honestly, it's quick. Go in, smash some heads, rinse and repeat. You do that, you get out, and then you go tackle some bosses and dungeons and whatnot. So what are you going to bring into Arena? It's easy. You bring in your fastest, hard-hitting champs, you deal some damage, you wipe them out, and you move on to the next. Now, a lot of people will come in with their big, bulky teams that take 2, 3, 4 minutes to clear a team, and yeah, you might be able to wipe every team that way, but you're spending a good portion of your day in Arena. And then there's other people that just want to come in with their hardest hitters. They just throw nothing but haymakers at the enemy team, and it can be good, but they do fail. Nuke teams can easily fail against speed teams, control teams, and even those tanky teams if you can't wipe them out after turn 1. So really, what do I prefer? Speed nuke teams. They get in, they get the job done, they have a nice little structure to them, and as long as you're the fastest, you can pull out the W. So are they unstoppable? No. Hell no. It's really all about matchmaking. You want to make sure that you pick the right enemy, someone that you can go in, easily wipe out the big threats of the team, and then do a little cleanup, and you're done. With the champions that are in the game currently, most of the builds are minimal. At the beginning of when I created my team, I literally had a 3-star, 4-star level 1 champion. I will show you, I will get to the builds later though, so hang in there. The general concept of a speed nuke team, it's the same across all the games that are like this. You get you a speed booster or a speed manipulator, turn meter manipulator, anything like that. You get you a nice control champion in case you're going up against an opponent that's got a little bit of speed of their own, and then you nuke them down. So what else should you bring in? Well, there's some top tier champions for these types of strategies, but not many in the game yet. Coming soon, I'm sure. Winstrix is your #1 pick for this. No, it's not exactly free to play, but you know these teams concepts don't rely on any legendaries. Winstrix, your #1 pick. You can get Fast Joe. He's a pretty good champion too, but it kind of comes with a little bit more strategy, a little bit more involvement in your gameplay. Those are your really 2 only options for your speed booster. I have actually tried to get decreased speed to work a little bit, but with the champions that they have for decreased speed, they're just not consistent and reliable enough to be able to build up to outspeed your opponent and to control them. Speaking of control, we're going to move on to the best control champions. Now, both of these are epics as well, but again, it's not really too hard to get your hands on at least one of them. Virgil, that's my #1 pick. His ultimate got a 100% chance for the silence, and he's a pretty easy champion to build. Then you got Lunar Melissa. We're gonna go with Lunar Mel. Lunar Mel, she's a solid champion. Honestly, I like her as well. If I hadn't already built up Virgil, I might have went with her. She brings out the stun or taunt. Either way, she controls the field with her ultimate. I would like to give a good shout out to Mila as well. She's very situational, but if you go check out her kit and that's who you got, you can probably make that work. Other than that, other than your speed booster and your control champion, all you need some nukers. And from your rookie pools or Zatlux or other Covenant fusion type of champions, it's really not too hard to get a good arena nuker. Free to play at that. Other than your champions, of course, we need to talk about the spells. Honestly, there's only 2 spells to really bring in, but you may need to rely on a third 2 depending on your opponents. The defense down spell, whether it's Winstrix or whether it's your speed booster or your control champion, one of those has to have some kind of focus so that way they can land your defense down. But outside of that, it's a perfect setup for your nukers. As far as your second spell slot should go, my personal preference is Rage. You throw it on your fastest nuker, so that way you can really put down the damage, so your cleanup nuker will have no problem wiping out the rest. Now, that being said, you might come across an opponent that also has a Winstrix running speed boost as well. Hey, looks like they're learning. Or they might have a champion that comes in with a fat shield on them. Well, that's when the water prison spell comes in play. It strips the enemy of the buffs and it stuns them. So keep that in your arsenal in case you ever want to, take it out and use it strategically. So you've got your concept, you've got your champions, you got your spell. That's all you need, right? Well, we're actually going to get into the builds a little bit, so let's shoot over there. Okay, now time to talk about the builds. Like I said, this team doesn't really take much investment. As far as your speed booster goes and your control champion, they could even be level 1. Only thing you really need to worry about is getting the appropriate stats for what they do. We'll start off with the speed booster, the head of your team. I got Winstrix up here. Like I said, she's the best for this role. And honestly, the gear I have on her, I haven't touched since I started grinding Arena back when I was still pushing my way through hard campaign. As you can see, most of it's level 4. I got lucky with a level 6 speed piece here. But really, that was just, I put that on just to give her a little bit of extra focus. She likes to use the defense down spell if I don't catch it and turn it off auto quick enough to just use her speed booster and then hit auto again. But for the most part, you want some speed boots and then speed sets and speed subs on everything else. If you can't get them everywhere, that's fine. You can't get them on the helmet and the chest, but just speed sets alone will be enough to put you up through the ranks of Arena real quick. Other than that, a little bit of extra focus, and that's all she really needs. As far as your control champion, we'll go with Virgil. This is the champion that I was using at 3-star level 1 for the longest time. If you need any champion just for the control, it's really easy to build. All you need to worry about is focus and enough speed that he goes second after Winstrix. As you can tell, none of this gear is high quality at all. Even his speed boots are barely ranked up and level 5 with a little bit of baby focus on him. None of the pieces are really well invested or really well suited for him, but he still does his job, as you'll see. I only have my 83% focus because honestly, at this point in time, most of your opponents you're facing won't be building into resistance, just some by accident kind of builds. So you want to make sure you have pretty high focus, and then again, you want to try and be within 50 points of speed from your speed booster. It honestly ain't that hard. My Winstrix is only like 220 something, so 180 is perfectly fine for him. And with a 108 base speed, he's solid. Again, Lunar Mez or maybe even Mila if you can get her to work. Either way, it's not very complicated to build. Outside of that, you want to go with your nukers. Now, I've put the best DPS gear I can on my nukers, but there's a little bit of a trick to it. See, Natalia does an AoE attack as long as she has some buffs, which she gets from Winstrix. So I make her my first / fastest speed nuker. I got her speed at 157. She don't actually need to be all that fast. It can be helpful if you want to, make sure you stop any of your opponents' fast champions. But really, I just need her to hit hard. She isn't even at crit cap yet. That's taboo on me. I'll fix it eventually. But you just want her to hit hard so that way when Zatlux comes in, you can make sure to clear it out. Now, I'm not going to go through their gear. Some of the pieces are really strong, some of them aren't. But he's just in here for cleanup at 3,200 attack, 200 crit damage, and he only needs 70% crit rate once you level up his skill or whatever. This right here, boom, you only need 70% crit rate. He does the job of cleanup very well. Alright, now for those that stuck around to the end of the video, I'd like to give a few tips on, exactly what you want to look for when you're doing this. When you're doing your matchmaking, you really got to be careful of those tanky teams, the sustain type teams. Like I said before, this is not a strategy that's guaranteed to overrun all of the enemies that's on your matchmaking page. So you got to use a little common sense and pick out the teams that you know you can wipe out quickly. If they have Hackrons, Blackhorns, Methasias, Brants, and champions like that on their team, you might want to take it a little slow, maybe even all the way skip and go on to the next. Other than that, I understand that it might be hard to acquire these champions. I do expect more champions to be dropping in the next month or two. They seem to be doing pretty good on releasing a new champion every few weeks. So keep your eye out for new champions that might be able to cover one of these speed booster or control roles. There ain't nothing wrong with building a new champ and playing around with them and having a little fun. Another big piece to this is learning what spells to use when. I usually go in with the defense down and the rage spell, and I line it up to where, you know, it kind of moves quickly after my speed boost on auto. But you might need to bring in that stun spell, so, you know, really pay attention to your team, evaluate it, and pick your spells accordingly. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. It really helps the channel grow. And if you do me one more favor, make sure you hit that sub button, turn the little notification bell on. And until next time, happy grinding, may the shards break in your favor. Peace.